and Lois episode
Yes.
11, which I haven't seen and you have. So, just like
I
always.
Yeah.
haven't.
Well, you have. I won't spoil anything. I'll just give a basic description review of it. So last week's episode was. It felt like a season finale. It felt like the climax for this big story because Morgan Edge, who is a Kryptonian, Talro, found out a few episodes ago that he's Superman's brother. Different fathers. But this episode, it was kind of, it started off as a filler. It was like a flashback to Superman, to Clark, because in last week's episode we got to see him collapse outside the Fortress of Solitude because he had to use all his power to stop Morgan Edge's big device that was turning people of Smallville into Kryptonians. So this felt like a flashback episode. So we get to see Clark, as a young boy dealing with his powers, being trained by his AI father Jor-El, discovering where he came from. It's really cool scenes with him and his mother Martha, heartbreaking scenes, very emotional. Then we get to see him as a teenager. He goes back to Smallville after going on this, or not a teenager, but a young adult. And he finds out that his love interest, Lana Lang, has found a boyfriend. So he decides to move on with himself. But eventually he goes to Metropolis and we get to see him save people for the first time. We get to see him wear the OG kind of costume with the red underpants. And Tyler Hoechlin actually pulls it off. And he actually looks pretty good in it. So we get to see that, and there's kind of a resemblance to the Action Comics pose where he has a car over his head. He saves a little kid there, and the reason he wears the old-fashioned Superman super underwear suit is because his mother made it for him. So I thought that was a pretty good explanation of why he wears that suit. Then we get to see him work at the Daily Planet, kind of falls in love with Lois Lane. He's a celebrity in Metropolis, stuff like that. So it felt like a filler episode where you get to see where he came from. Basically, if you don't want to watch this episode, just watch Man of Steel because that's basically what they tried to do in this episode. But until there was a twist, which I'll get to in a second. But something that I thought was pretty awesome in this episode is that Lois Lane starts working with Clark Kent, of course, at the Daily Planet. They start investigating some kind of shady business in the city. Superman's doing his thing, but Lois falls in love with Clark. She doesn't fall in love with Superman because she has some dealings with Superman. She interviews him a few times, stuff like that. But I thought it was nice how she fell for Clark before she fell for Superman. So that was pretty cool. So we get to see Clark find out he's going to be a parent. They're in the hospital. They're going to have twins, stuff like that. But throughout the episode, in these kind of flashbacks, Superman is seeing like a dark shadow that's coming back and forth. And he can't make it out, he doesn't know what it is. And we don't know what it is either. And this happens several times throughout the episode until he figures out that all of his memories, all of his flashbacks are not real. Morgan Edge is using some device to go into his mind and to see where he came from. So I thought it was a nice twist in the episode, and some stuff happened after that as well. Because Morgan Edge, who is Tal-Rho from Krypton, came to Earth years before Superman did, and he had more of a violent upbringing and stuff like that. He was treated badly. His AI version of his father trained him in such a brutal way that makes him so ruthless, the way he's depicted in the show. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I'd like to see the flashbacks, the interactions, and then the ending was pretty badass as well. Because remember, Casey, I was telling you that this character, Captain Luthor, who was John Henry Irons' deal in the comic books, came from his Earth to this Earth to stop Superman, because on his Earth, Superman went rogue and took over the world and killed everyone. So he came to this Earth to stop this world's Superman in fear of the same thing happening. But he has seen this Superman, the way he acts. He has a family. He's seen him with Lois Lane, so he thinks everything's going to be okay. But by the end of the episode, don't want to spoil it too much, he may have been right all along, and he may have to come and take on the Man of Steel. An evil Man of Steel, maybe in future episodes. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see how that goes, because the actor who plays John Henry Irons, Woolley Parks, I think his name is, badass. He is so cool. He's so cool in this show. So yeah, it's all coming together, Casey, with 4 episodes to go, and this show has been one of the best DC content I've watched maybe since Snyder's era with the company. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've heard only good things about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very weary about those DC shows because not really a fan of I don't want to talk crap about them, but I don't like any.
KC's the same.
Really. Huh?
KC's the same.
Yeah.
KC is the same, aren't you, KC?
Yeah.
You feel the same.
So I'm very reluctant on watching certain of the CW ones But like I think my boyfriend like started watching some of them. So like he was like telling me them, and he's like, "You need to watch it." And I was like, "Okay," but I just never got around to it. I don't know. I have it on my list. Maybe eventually I'll watch it. I don't know.
How many episodes are left?
There is 4, so there's going to be altogether 15
Wow.
episodes, or 15 or 16. But I actually think this will be a really good binge. And I think you could watch this with your parents, or family, or friends, and stuff like that, because it's actually such an easy watch. You don't have to be into superheroes. It's more of a drama, and there's hero elements to it as well. And every single character in the show has a part to play in the story. You know, you got Lana Lang, she has her husband, her daughter. Every single character is important to the story. And as I said in previous episodes, the side stories are as interesting as the story with Clark or Lois Lane or with the kids and stuff like that. So, yeah, this episode, I thought it was going to be a filler one, then it took a twist, then it took another twist by the end and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say wait for it to come out and maybe binge it. I'm going to definitely buy this on Blu-ray when it comes out, just so I can have it and watch it anytime I want. That's how much I've really loved this show. And there was so many references towards Christopher Reeve's Superman, towards Man of Steel as well in this episode. Some nice similar shots. And yeah, Tyler Hoechlin, I with the right material, he's pulling it off as a really great Superman. So hopefully the show quality continues so he can show us how great he can be.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I'll definitely, like I said, I'll definitely eventually check that out. I don't know when, but I will.
Awesome.